Today's discussion is on Taiping Rebellion. Taiping Rebellion was an important event of 19th century China. The rebellion took place in the interval of 1851 to 1864. The leader of the rebellion was Hong Xiuquan. This Hong Xiuquan was a school teacher in Guangzhou province. He was an ambitious man who tried to crack Chinese civil service under Qing dynasty rule, but he failed 4 times. After his failure in the 3rd time, he suddenly went out of his mind and he gradually felt that he was empowered with a supernatural power, occult power. From that time, he got interested in Christianity. He read a version of Bible and finally he declared himself as the second son of God after Jesus Christ. So later Hong Xiuquan became a legendary character in Chinese history. So there are many legends, many myths, folk tales regarding him, regarding this character, and he was respected as a hero by none other than Mao Zedong later. There are many documentaries, many TV shows made on this particular event, but here today we will refer and discuss a film called The Warlords. The film was made in 2007 and the film refers to Taiping Rebellion. This is made by Peter Chen from Hong Kong. The film belongs to the historical drama film with a bit of generic trend of war film. The film discusses a story which is once again a legend or myth in Chinese culture, that is called the assassination of Ma. Later that was also known as 3 blood brothers. So according to this legend, actually, that a man who was a bean vendor in rural China, a very common person with a peasant background, he found an injustice in his locality that a rural judge forced a poor girl to become his concubine. So the man, the bean vendor, that common man, he murdered the judge. But after murdering the judge, his face turned completely red. And therefore, he was not identified later by the law. So this is the myth or legend. And on this myth or legend, the assassination of Ma or 3 blood brothers that was based on. And also in Chinese opera, this myth and legend was performed. So the Warlords, a film by Peter Chen from Hong Kong, refers to this myth, and the film very intelligently refers to Taiping Rebellion. The most important aspect of the film is that the film is not directly referring to that historical event. The historical timeline of the film is 1860s, China 1860s, when Taiping Rebellion reached the peak, and after reaching the peak in 1960s, early 1960s, it is gradually declining. So the film was set on this particular time period, early 1860s China. The film tells the story of some small military captains, but in every part of the film, Taiping Rebellion, or more precisely, the ideology of Taiping Rebellion was referred. So Taiping Rebellion, we were talking about Hong Xiuquan, who was the leader of Taiping Rebellion, and Hong, we have told that he was inspired by Bible and Christianity, and he started preaching a revolutionary Christianity in rural China among the peasantry. Primarily, he was a laughing stock to the people. The people used to laugh at him. But gradually, the discontent against Qing dynasty actually gave him the room to get accepted among the people. Because in that period, the middle of 19th century was very important for Chinese history for another aspect, that in the Opium War, China was defeated twice. This defeat of Chinese army in the hands of British in the first Opium War and the British-French joint army in the second Opium War. With that defeat, the Qing army and the Qing power started losing its credibility very quickly, particularly among the peasantry and the poor people, poor masses of China. So gradually, Hong was accepted by the rebellious peasants, primarily by some rebellious peasants, and then the army, Taiping Rebellion, the Hong's message was spread in different part of rural southern China, and many people, particularly peasantry, they come to join the Taiping Rebellion. Hong formed an army of the people, mainly the peasants, the soldiers or military personnel who had discontent about Qing dynasty. They joined Hong's army, and Hong's army gradually became a kind of irresistible force in southern China. And in southern China, they could establish their kingdom. That is, the kingdom was known as the heavenly kingdom of eternal peace. And their capital was known as heavenly capital. Because Hong Hong accepted Christianity, and a rebellious kind of Christianity. He propagated the message that he himself is the second son of God, that is the brother of Jesus Christ, and he also started criticizing Confucian doctrine. In China, particularly in medieval China and early modern China, Confucian doctrine was very powerful. And Confucian doctrine was very conservative, socially based on the aristocracy, and the doctrine supported the feudal rule and feudalism, feudal values in China. But at that time, in the middle of 19th century, peasants, every day, they were getting impoverished. They were getting plundered by the foreign forces, as after the defeat in Opium War, Qing dynasty had to accept the conditions imposed on China by British, French and other Western forces. So rural China, the situation, the economic situation, the political situation in rural China was going down, was deteriorating every day. And that actually made the acceptability, that actually helped the Taiping rebellious soldiers and army to become acceptable to common masses. So Taiping Rebellion was a peasant rebellion, but heavily informed by the theological, religious inputs. It is a new kind of era in China, because China was a very strong ground for Confucianism. But this is the first time in Chinese history that in the name of Christianity, in the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of Christian justice, Christian notion of justice, the peasants, they rise up and they conducted a complete rebellion against the Qing dynasty. Peter Chen's film discusses all these things, but in a very subtle, oblique manner. The film shows from the another point of view, actually. The film was not shown from the point of view of the Taiping rebellious soldiers, but the time, the period was shown from the point of view of some people who were fighting against Taiping rebellion, but who are fighting against Taiping rebellion in favor of Qing army. They also understood the importance of Taiping rebellion. They also understood the progressive nature of Taiping rebellion. That is why the Warlords, the Peter Chen's film, became accepted among the film critics also and acclaimed as a film which is not directly narrating an historical event, but continuously making comments and giving references, positive references to that historical event. There is another dynamics which one should discuss, one should mention about Taiping rebellion. Qing dynasty, Qing rulers were Manchu. They came from Manchuria, and there was an ethnic tension in that period in China. The ethnic tension between the Manchu rulers and the majority, the major part of the ethnic population in China was Han Chinese. They were the major part of the population. There are other groups like Hakka groups. They are a small ethnic group. That Hong, who was the leader of the rebellion, he was a Hakka. And also Chinese Muslims, they were not very happy with Qing dynasty rule. And Chinese Muslims, Chinese Christians, the Hakka people, the Han Chinese people, many of them, they joined Taiping Rebellion and they formed a proto-people's army. It was not really a people's army. In a sense, we knew Mao Zedong's army as a people's army, but it was a proto-people's army. There was an idea of people's army in Taiping Rebellion. That is why Taiping Rebellion was an important event in Chinese history, and it was an inspiration for the later revolutionaries like Sun Yat-sen, like Mao Zedong. They admired Taiping Rebellion. The film shows some positive elements of Taiping Rebellion. Not shows, it actually refers to some important positive elements in Taiping Rebellion. The story is about three soldiers. One was Fong. Fong was a soldier who belonged to the Qing army, but after being defeated, a part of Qing army which was defeated, Fong was part of that army. He miraculously survived, and later he met to local bandits, Chao and Chiang. So Fong, Chao and Chiang, they reorganized the villagers and they started a army unit, and they started fighting against the Taiping rebellious people in favor of Qing. But there are very subtle references which are very interesting here. That Lian, who was a wife of Chao, one of the bandits who Fong met. Chao's wife Lian, she was given a cross. The cross was snatched from a dead Taiping army soldier, and Chao gives it to Lian as a gift. Now this cross, that is very important here. The cross, it refers to Christianity, and it refers to, for that period, it refers to Taiping rebellious army. There are many such very interesting references. The whole film revolves around food, the crisis of food. The people in the village, they are starving. The army which is fighting is starving. There is a massive crisis of food, and Qing dynasty failed to feed its people. So people, common people, the poor people, the peasants, they were starving. And food became a very important motive throughout the film. The hungry people demanding food. That was a very, very important motive throughout the film. That refers to Taiping Rebellion. Taiping Rebellion actually promised to the people that Qing dynasty failed to feed the people, the common people. They are only exploiting the peasants. Taiping Rebellion promised to the people, the peasantry, poor peasantry, that they will give the food, they will provide the people food and basic amenities for existence. That is in another point in the film, a group of soldiers who were hungry, and that hunger made them almost mad. And one of them, he was saying, think about the Taiping rebellious people. They don't suffer from food crisis because, they offer a small piece of bread to Jesus Christ, and next morning, Jesus Christ gives them back the whole amount of food. It's sufficient for everybody to satisfy everybody's hunger. So Taiping Rebellion actually offered that. And another very important point that is also mentioned in the film throughout, that the Qing army, they were professional army people, and when they enter in a village, they destroy food, they plunder their wealth, they rape the women, and all these kind of things used to take place. Taiping army was very, very strict on those part, because one of the promises of Taiping Rebellion was the emancipation of women of China. It's known to everybody if we just browse the social history of China that under Confucian doctrine, under Confucian milieu, Chinese women suffered much. There were infamous kind of social practice, custom of foot binding of women, and women were treated almost in Confucian values, almost like animals. But Taiping Rebellion, they promised something very progressive. Even in the Taiping rebellious army, there were places for women. There were women's brigade. Women were allowed to join the army. Women were allowed to do all the social acts with men. So an equality of men and women. Taiping Rebellion also, they abolished private property, and they were not socialist in secular sense, but their activity were socialistic, and they dreamed, Hong, the leader of Taiping Rebellion, he dreamed a kind of society on the basis of equality.
老师，看不到城里的红烟，我的人会带你走。跟大哥武阳他们说，二虎想当英雄。
Let us quickly have a question answer session. Who was the leader of Taiping Rebellion? The answer is, the leader of Taiping Rebellion was Hong Xiuquan. Second question, when did Taiping Rebellion take place? The answer is, Taiping Rebellion took place from 1851 to 1864 in China. Who was the director? It's a kind of MCQ that who was the director of the film Warlords, which was made in 2007, was, there are three options: Jet Li, Peter Chen, and Hui. The correct answer is Peter Chen, the director of the film The Warlords, made in the year 2007. The film The Warlords was also known as Three Blood Brothers, The Bloodshed, Two Blood Brothers. The film The Warlords 2007 was also known as Three Blood Brothers. Let us come back to our discussion that we were discussing Taiping Rebellion through film, and we were referring the film The Warlords by Peter Chen, made in 2007. In 1850, the Taiping Rebellion started, but in a very minuscule form. There are local kind of rebellions. From 1851, that actually propelled and geared up. The Hong's army gradually was getting stronger and stronger, and they were receiving soldiers, resources from the common masses of southern China, and gradually they defeated the Qing army one after one war and captured the southern part of China. Finally, they very quickly reached to Nanking and Tianjin, these two big cities. They also captured Suzhou, and they also tried to capture Shanghai. Then they became more ambitious, and they started exploring the northern part, but that was not possible. Northern part, the Taiping rebellious army was defeated by the Qing official army. More than almost 10 years, they ruled southern China, and they occupied Nanking, one of the major cities of China. But they could not advance towards Beijing. So Qing dynasty was finally saved. One important feature of Taiping Rebellion is that Taiping Rebellion was in a massive number supported by peasantry, common people, small traders of villages and small towns. But middle class, Chinese bureaucratic class, intellectual class and scholars, they were not with Taiping Rebellion. That was one major drawback of Taiping Rebellion, that Taiping Rebellion could not earn their support from Chinese scholars and intellectuals. They either remained silent or they supported the Qing rule. That was one drawback, a major drawback of Taiping Rebellion, that they could not form an intellectual brigade to support the rebellion. But still, the impact of the rebellion was huge. After 1859-60, there are some infight brewed and germinated among the Taiping rebellious soldiers, and finally that infight weakened their forces. On the other hand, Qing dynasty was trying to gather more support and tried to consolidate and strengthen themselves. Very interestingly, they got support from Western forces. That was major reason that Taiping Rebellion finally failed. One mistake they did in 1862, that Taiping rebellious army, they wanted to capture Shanghai. It was an ambitious project for them, but at that time Shanghai was the hub for foreign traders, for the Western forces. So the Western forces first they protected themselves, they protected Shanghai, and then the Western forces, they resolved to support Qing dynasty. And the foreign support was with the Qing dynasty, and they finally could defeat the Taiping rebellious army. Finally, the fall of Nanking took place 1864, and the leader of the Taiping rebellion, Hong Xiuquan, who died. Actually, the Qing army, they sieged Nanking city, and finally, out of starvation, many people died there. Hong Xiuquan. There are many myths that some popular myth says that he dies out of hunger. Some popular myth says he committed suicide. Some popular myth says that he ate poisonous weed and out of hunger, to satisfy hunger, and he died by that. Some myth says that he was the conspirators poisoned him to death. Whatever it is, that Hong Xiuquan became a mythical, legendary figure in popular Chinese folk tales, in popular Chinese legends. His intervention was massive in rural China particularly. That one sequence was there, the film which we are referring here, that finally the Qing dynasty, Qing army could siege Suzhou, one of the citadels of Taiping kingdom. And they entered administrative building, the palace. They captured the leader of the Taiping leader of Suzhou. The leader says that, you can kill me, but spare my people. And when the Qing general offers him that you take some opium and you leave the palace, you just hand over power to us. The rebellious leader says that once I was addicted to opium, but since I joined Taiping rebellious army, I became a part of the Taiping rebellion. I quit opium smoking. So this thing looks like small, but that is very important in Chinese history. The Taiping rebellion actually helped many people The China before that was addicted by opium. There was a massive, large-scale addiction. But Taiping Rebellion stood against opium addiction, and many people, particularly in rural China, they could come out of opium addiction since Taiping Rebellion opposed vehemently the opium addiction. So there are many aspects. Taiping Rebellion became very important for Chinese history, particularly if we consider Taiping Rebellion as a background of the fall of Qing dynasty 50 years later. In 1911, Qing dynasty fell, but the role of Taiping Rebellion was immense. After Taiping Rebellion, the people started believing that Qing dynasty could be defeated. It is possible to defeat Qing dynasty. Let us summarize very quickly today's discussion, that Taiping Rebellion, which took place from 1851 to 1864 in China, was a popular rebellious act, and Taiping Rebellion could capture many parts of southern China. They established a kingdom called the Heavenly Kingdom of Peace, eternal peace, and they took some measures which are very progressive, and they the equality of wealth, in terms of equality of wealth, in terms of equality of gender, Taiping Rebellion actually contributed a lot in popular Chinese history, in the history of China, common people, which are concerned with common people, common masses.